Welcome back to Daily Decode, the channel where we don't just report the news, we decode it. If it's shocking, dramatic, political, or just downright unbelievable, you'll hear it right here. So buckle up, because today's political showdown isn't just a heated exchange, it's a masterclass in legal schooling delivered live and unfiltered. Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett just took Marjorie Taylor Greene to task on national television, and let's just say, the courtroom wasn't the only place that saw fireworks this week. It all went down during a high-stakes House Oversight Committee, hearing the kind of political arena where tensions always run high and egos often burst. But this particular exchange has people buzzing not just because of the drama, but because of what it revealed or failed to reveal about the understanding of basic law by some of the people we've elected to write it. Marjorie Taylor Greene got dragged, humiliated, and outclassed by Jasmine Crockett in a way that wasn't just entertaining, but educational, and the internet cannot stop talking about it. Let's take you right into the scene. The committee room is buzzing, cameras are rolling, microphones hot, and seated at the front row of this congressional clash is Representative Jasmine Crockett, a Texas attorney with a razor-sharp legal mind and a flair for taking no nonsense from anyone, especially not from someone like Marjorie Taylor Greene, whose public record includes a long list of conspiracy-laced rants, controversial remarks, and combative outbursts. As the hearing begins, you can already feel the tension building. Greene, as usual, tries to bulldoze her way into the conversation with sweeping accusations and legally shaky statements. Her voice is loud, her tone defiant, and her facts, well, let's just say they weren't quite present. She began questioning witnesses and committee members in a way that felt more like a Fox News audition than a formal oversight meeting. That's when Jasmine Crockett steps in, calm, composed, and legally lethal. Marjorie starts throwing around accusations, something about the Constitution, about criminal law, about alleged misconduct she thinks she understands. But then Crockett interrupts, her tone like velvet-covered steel. She leans into her microphone and says, in the clearest, most authoritative voice of the day, "With all due respect, Congresswoman, do you even understand the legal principle you're referring to?" Boom, it was one of those moments where the room fell quiet, not because people were bored, but because everyone could sense that a storm was coming. And Jasmine Crockett didn't disappoint. She starts methodically walking Marjorie through the legal basics, definitions, statutes, constitutional interpretations, the kind of first-year law school material that Greene clearly didn't do her homework on. Crockett doesn't yell, she doesn't insult, she doesn't grandstand. Instead, she teaches, she lectures, she educates, and in doing so, she obliterates. At one point, Greene tries to regain control of the exchange, waving papers and shouting about due process and criminal conspiracy, trying to catch Crockett in a legal loophole. But that was a mistake, because Crockett, who actually practiced law before entering Congress, doesn't just know the law, she lives it. She calmly dismantles Greene's entire line of questioning, pointing out one legal inaccuracy after another. She references case law, she brings in constitutional context, and she delivers it all in a way that makes Greene look more like a loud YouTube commenter than a sitting member of Congress. The clip goes viral instantly. Within hours, social media is ablaze. On Twitter, Crockett is hailed as the legal lioness of Congress. TikTok floods with side-by-side commentary, some with law students breaking down exactly why everything Crockett said was correct and everything Greene said was, well, not. Even on traditionally conservative platforms, the reaction is more embarrassment than defense. Because this wasn't just about political ideology, it was about basic competence, and Crockett proved she had it in spades. But let's rewind a bit and talk about why this moment hit so hard. First, there's the ongoing dynamic between Crockett and Greene. These two have clashed before. Crockett, known for her fiery wit and legal sharpness, has never held back when Greene pushes unfounded theories or goes off script in hearings. In one past exchange, Crockett famously said, "We're lawmakers, not lawbreakers," after Greene tried to derail a legislative discussion with another baseless accusation. So, the foundation for this clash has been building for months. Second, there's the sheer contrast in styles. Greene thrives on spectacle. Her playbook is disruption, distraction, and distortion. But Crockett, her strength is precision. She's deliberate, she's surgical, and in an environment where shouting often gets more airtime than substance, Crockett flipped the script. She showed that calm intelligence can still dominate chaos. During the confrontation, Greene made the fatal mistake of invoking the Fourth and Fifth Amendments, trying to trap a witness into admitting to something illegal. That's when Crockett cut in with a question that made legal Twitter lose its Mind, she said, are you referring to due process under the criminal code or the administrative law context? Because your argument conflates both, which is legally irresponsible. In layman's terms, she basically said, you're mixing up two entirely different branches of law and hoping no one notices, and then she proceeded to explain why that was a problem, citing relevant Supreme Court precedents and committee procedures that Greene, frankly, should have known before she opened her mouth. But the humiliation didn't stop there. When Greene insisted she knew the Constitution better than anyone in the room, Crockett didn't laugh. She didn't mock her. Instead, she asked Greene to cite the specific clause she was referring to. Greene fumbled. She stammered. She couldn't answer. She looked around the room as if hoping someone would bail her out, but no one did. And Crockett let the silence speak volumes before stepping in with the correct citation and a brief explanation of its historical application. It wasn't just a mic drop. It was a masterclass in how to dismantle ignorance without even raising your voice. The reaction from Greene, while it was predictable, she tried to pivot. She accused Crockett of being elitist, of trying to shame other members with her education. But even that didn't land, because Crockett's response was gold. She looked Greene straight in the eye and said, I'm not shaming you for not being a lawyer. I'm correcting you because you're wrong. There's a difference. And that, right there, was the knockout punch. What made the moment resonate with so many people wasn't just that Greene got exposed, though let's be honest, that was satisfying. It was that Crockett didn't do it for show. She did it because the truth matters. Because understanding the law is not optional for the people who are tasked with writing it. Because facts, still, have value. As the hearing wrapped up, Greene looked defeated. She tried to mutter a few last-minute retorts, but the damage had been done. The internet crowned Crockett the undisputed champion of the day. Legal scholars chimed in to say it was one of the best examples of legal literacy ever seen in a congressional setting. And viewers, many of whom are often skeptical of politicians, got to see what it looks like when someone actually knows their stuff and uses that knowledge not to dominate, but to educate. In the days that followed, the clip became a staple in political talk shows. MSNBC ran a segment called Crockett versus Chaos. CNN brought in legal analysts to explain why Greene's interpretation of the law was not just wrong, but dangerously uninformed. And even conservative pundits had to admit begrudgingly that Crockett was right. What this moment underscores is something bigger than just a congressional clapback. It highlights the importance of having lawmakers who are not just ideologically driven, but intellectually equipped. People like Jasmine Crockett bring more than passion to the floor. They bring expertise. And in an age of misinformation, that's not just refreshing, it's necessary. So where does this leave us? Well, for starters, it leaves Marjorie Taylor Greene with a lot of thinking to do. Maybe next time she'll check her facts before challenging someone with a law degree and courtroom experience. But more importantly, it shows the country and the world that there are still voices in Congress committed to truth, clarity, and real representation. Jasmine Crockett didn't just win an argument, she reminded America of the power of knowledge. She proved that knowing the law, really knowing it, matters, and she showed that you can be fierce without being disrespectful, intelligent without being condescending, and powerful without being loud. That's what leadership looks like. That's what service looks like. And that's why this moment wasn't just another viral video. It was a reminder that in the halls of power, facts still matter. And when wielded correctly, they speak louder than any conspiracy, louder than any accusation, louder than any yell. Thanks for watching Daily Decode, where we don't just tell you what happened, we show you why it matters. If you loved seeing truth triumph over theatrics, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you never miss a moment. Because when the chaos is loud, the truth is louder, and we'll be right here to decode it. See you next time.